Welcome back to the Power Network. I'm Amy. Today we're digging into the Emmanuel Haro case. The dad, Jake Haro, appears to be flipping. He was seen in an orange jumpsuit with deputies and police cadaver dogs out searching for Emmanuel's body near the 60 freeway. Meanwhile, the mom, Rebecca Haro, well, she's got another thing. Rebecca is insisting on her innocence and standing 10 toes down on her lies, doubling down that Emmanuel was kidnapped and that she and her husband had nothing to do with this. Just nothing to do with it. Two parents, two completely different paths, and a baby still missing. I'm rolling credits while the rest of the power crew drifts in. Shout out to my dragonflies. I love you.
Carefully strumming his old guitar again. Words rolling out into our fire. If heaven had wings, out to you then, and fly away with you for a while. Here in the essence of gratitude, your dreamy little smile on my lips. I miss my cue, but baby, I had you. Miss my cue, but I had you for that day.
Here in the essence of gratitude, it is Tuesday, and we are at the Power Docket AM edition. We are talking about Emmanuel Haro today. This is a case that I had to build up to talk about because it's very upsetting. So I am going to be giving a trigger warning here. It is about a child and a child that probably suffered prolonged abuse. It's why I have a hard time talking about it. And so I'm going to give this trigger warning. If this isn't the case for you, totally understand, totally get it. But if it is the case for you, let's get into it. What do you think about this baby, Emmanuel? Do you think we're going to find him? And do you think the dad is a psychopath? He seems to be the first one flipping. I think the mom is a severely abused woman, and so she hasn't really gotten into save herself mode yet. But I could be wrong. I am just starting to look at this case. Hold on one second. Hey, Kim. Someone else is streaming the arraignment. Oh, they're having their arraignment right now? Hold on a second. Let me look for the arraignment. I didn't know that was happening. Court TV probably has it. And then if they're streaming it, we can watch it and then we can go into what we're going to do. How's everyone doing? I've decided I'm going to do a AM docket on the Power Network and just cover cases in the morning because my best time is between 11 to 3 p.m. I've just realized that 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. is when I'm like my sharpest, my best. So I'm just going to ride that wave until. Or are you talking about the Donna case? Are you in watching the Donna Adelson? No. That's going on. Let me see what's happening live over on Court TV. Uh, no, that's 3 days ago. Um, I don't see the arraignment. Let me type it in and see if maybe I can find it that way. What channel are you watching it on then? Because I don't see it anywhere. Oh, wait. JLR investigates? Is it JLR investigates? Because I see he has court hearing. Well, here, let me get my screen together and then you guys can see what I'm seeing so that you're not just seeing my face. Okay, so I'm over on JLR investigates court hearing Emmanuel Haro's parents, California live. Let me see.
Still no sign this morning of Emmanuel Haro. The search for the missing baby continues as his mother maintains her innocence behind bars.
Mario Ramirez is live in Riverside now, where Emmanuel's parents could make their first court appearance as early as today, Mario.
Jen, Bob, good morning. That's right. We're just outside the courthouse. Emmanuel Haro, at this point in the investigation, authorities are
Well, I did it again. I just jumped right into it before I gave you like a basic rundown of what this case is for those that aren't aware, because the hearing's not going on quite yet. So I'm just going to do it really quickly. So the Emmanuel Haro case involves the disappearance and presumed death of a 7-month-old California boy whose parents, Rebecca and Jake, were arrested on suspicion of unaliving after police determined their kidnapping report was fabricated. So this happened on August 14th. Rebecca reported that her son Emmanuel was kidnapped outside a Big Five sporting goods store in California. She claimed a man knocked her unconscious while she was changing her son's diaper. And when she woke up, Emmanuel was just poof, gone. August 15th, 2025, Rebecca, with a visible black eye, made public pleas for her son's safe return. In interviews, she maintained her story of being assaulted. On August 16th, investigators found inconsistencies in Rebecca's statements. When confronted, she declined to continue with the interview. Both parents ceased cooperating with investigators around this time. On August 22nd, 2025, after serving search warrants and reviewing evidence, the San Bernardino County Sheriff Department arrested Rebecca and Jake Haro at their home in looks like Cabazon on suspicion of murder. Police announced that the kidnapping never occurred and that they believe Emmanuel is deceased. So August 24th, in a highly unusual move, Jake was seen in an orange prison jumpsuit with detectives and cadaver dogs searching for his son's remains in a remote area of Moreno Valley. The search did not turn up the infant's body. And so, August 25th, from jail, Rebecca gave an interview to the Southern California News Group, insisting on her innocence and maintaining her belief that Emmanuel was kidnapped. On August 26th, Rebecca and Jake are expected to make their first court appearance. Jail records indicate both are being held without bail on one count each of felony murder with malice. So that's where we're at with that.
presuming that the 7-month-old is dead. His parents have been named suspects in the case, and they're expected to appear here at this courthouse as early as this afternoon once the DA's office files charges. And while investigators say a kidnapping never happened, as it was initially reported, Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca Haro, is speaking out from jail. She spoke with the Southern California News Group, insisting her child was kidnapped, saying, quote, "I want to be out looking for my baby," end quote. She also spoke about her husband from behind bars, saying he's a good dad and he would never hurt a baby. Now, that jailhouse interview on Sunday, the same day Jake Haro was seen in an orange jumpsuit, cuffed with San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies searching for Emmanuel's remains near the 60 freeway in Moreno Valley. The body wasn't found, but detectives believe the baby, unfortunately, is dead. Rebecca and Jake Haro arrested at their Cabazon home Friday of last week on suspicion of murder. The story starts August 14th when Rebecca reported her 7-month-old was kidnapped after she was attacked outside a Yucaipa store. Days later, investigators claimed she, along with Emmanuel's father, Jake, had stopped cooperating, adding that there were inconsistencies in their stories. Emmanuel's disappearance leading to an all-out hunt and search for several areas in Yucaipa and Cabazon, including the couple's home. With the latest search efforts in Moreno Valley, both are now facing 1 count of felony murder with malice, according to Riverside County jail records this morning. And once those charges are officially filed, the two are expected to appear in court again as early as this afternoon. Right now, they're being held behind bars without bail as the search continues for 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. For now, live here in Riverside County, I'm Mario Ramirez. Back to
interview, Rebecca Haro called Jake a good dad.
Okay, so I will keep an eye on this channel for us, and when I see that he has it up, we
are waiting to see.
Hold on.
What happens here. But it appears there's no court hearing at this time. So with that being said, we're going to sign off, and we'll wait to see what happens and what pops up with the case.
Okay, we'll continue on with what we're going to do today, and we'll keep an eye out on it as we're doing it for you guys in case it happens while we're live. But here is another report stating that they're been arrested and what the county detectives say.
That breaking news in the case of a missing 7-month-old boy we need to get to. Assignment manager Mark Liu is at the desk. Mark, what have you learned now?
There is a significant major development in the search for 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. The San Bernardino County Sheriffs have just shared on social media that the parents of the missing 7-month-old have now been arrested for murder. This is the post that was just shared by San Bernardino County Sheriffs on X. It says, update August 22nd. That's today. This morning, detectives from the Sheriff's Homicide Detail and Specialized Enforcement Division have arrested Jake and Rebecca Haro at...
This is old. All right, so we're going to just go back to our previously planned show, what I have all scheduled, and we're just going to take it back to the beginning. I read to you what the case was about. These are the mug shots that have been released for the parents. That's Rebecca and that's Jake. They say that their baby was kidnapped, but now Jake is out with cadaver dogs looking for their baby. But Rebecca, she's sticking to her story.
Tonight in the search for a missing baby in the Inland Empire. We now know his mother, who is currently in jail on suspicion of murder, maintains her child was kidnapped. Fox 11's Nick Garcia is live in downtown Riverside with what could be next in this investigation. Nick?
Right, Susan. Good evening. Well, Rebecca Haro is behind bars in that jail here in Riverside right now. The Riverside District Attorney's Office says a decision on filing has not been made yet, but we know that Rebecca and Jake Haro both face that count of murder. If those charges are filed, they could appear in court here tomorrow. It's a case that has captured national attention. The disappearance of infant Emmanuel Haro. Last week, his parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, were arrested for murder. Now Rebecca is speaking out from jail. She spoke with the Southern California News Group, insisting her baby was kidnapped, saying, quote, "I want to be out looking for my baby." She also spoke about her husband, saying, quote, "He's a good dad. He would never hurt a baby." That jailhouse interview happened Sunday The same day, Jake Haro, seen here in an orange jumpsuit, was brought by San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies to help look for Emmanuel's body near the...
We're going to take a closer look at that because that's a strange situation that's happening out there.
60 freeway in Moreno Valley. The body was not found, but detectives do believe the baby is dead. Sunday night, a growing memorial outside the Haro home in Cabazon.
Beautiful that baby Emmanuel gets this support. It's very unfortunate that he wasn't able to get it while he was still here.
Concerned community members have gathered several times since baby Emmanuel's disappearance, hoping he will be found. As of Monday afternoon, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department has not located the boy's body. Certainly the question on everyone's mind, where is...
So the mother is sticking with her story. We're going to continue with sticking with the mother sticking with her story and looking at more news reports. This is Hidden True Crime talking about it.
More major developments in the case of baby Emmanuel Haro, the 7-month-old reported missing out of Yucaipa, California. Following the arrest of his parents, Rebecca and Jake Haro, investigators announced that they no longer believe that Emmanuel is alive. And now we're learning that Jake himself may be cooperating with police and the San Bernardino search and rescue team to recover his son's remains. For weeks, many speculated, even right here at Hidden True Crime, that Rebecca might eventually turn on Jake now that the two are separated behind bars, maybe even trying to strike a deal to protect herself. But in a surprising turn, it looks like Jake may have been the first to break.
We did see Rebecca with a black eye. I do believe that I'm not condoning murder at all, but I do believe that Rebecca probably was an abused person and she just isn't in that she needs to save her own ass mode. She's still in that I need to protect my abuser at all costs mode. And unfortunately, Jake, I'm hearing more and more about Jake, and Jake is very alarming.
Sunday afternoon, a photo surfaced online that shows Jake Haro dressed in his jail-issued jumpsuit and escorted by investigators as they searched along the westbound shoulder of the 60 freeway near Gilman Springs Road in Moreno Valley. Cadaver dogs were also brought in to assist. And so far, baby Emmanuel has not been located. But the fact that Jake is out there with investigators suggests he may be finally acknowledging what police have believed for some time, that Emmanuel is no longer alive. It also raises a question. Could Jake be trying to work out some kind of deal?
It raises a huge question. Why are they out there? I mean, what is he telling them? And does Rebecca have any notion that Jake is out there in a jumpsuit? It seems like a common tactic that they would be like, hey, Jake's out there in a he's singing. It's, to pit them against each other. So I've got some pumpkin spice coffee today. I'm in full pumpkin spice mode. I can't help it. I've even got a long sleeve pumpkin shirt on, and I'm in pumpkin spice everything mode. I'm just feeling it. It's the 26th. I feel like we push every holiday now, and fall has become a holiday, pumpkin spice. And so what are you guys drinking this morning? I've got pumpkin spice coffee and some cream in there. And I put my vital nutrient collagen in there. So I try to pretend like it's helping my skin, and my joints. Last year when I bought it, I buy it. I guess apparently it comes in concentrate, and I didn't know it was concentrate, and I was drinking it straight. I was like, ooh, wired. But it's much better when you don't drink it concentrated. It'd be like, remember those orange juice cans that you used to get, and you would drink, like, it'd be like me drinking that orange juice straight or something. So Rebecca is sticking to her story. Brian Entman reports on it.
Rebecca Haro called Jake a good dad and said he would never hurt a baby. There's her new mugshot, by the way. A lot of people zeroing in on both of those black eyes. And also How strange that she's still talking from jail. She talked to the media before. Everyone was suspicious of her. Now she's talking to reporters from the jail, trying to stand up for her husband. As we've reported, he was convicted in 2023 of an act of willful child cruelty 5 years earlier. It's an awful case. The victim was even younger than Emmanuel, just 10 weeks old, who suffered permanent brain damage. Jake and Rebecca also have a 2-year-old daughter who is now in the care of Child Protective Services. Every single day, it seems like this case just gets more and more disturbing. My News Nation colleague, Nancy Liu, joins me live from outside that couple's home, just outside Palm Springs. Nancy, they brought the dad out to search this weekend in the jail jumpsuit, and still nothing. No sign of baby Emmanuel.
Yeah, remarkable developments in this case, Brian, but the bottom line is, where is baby Emmanuel? We are outside the Haro family home. This is in Cabazon, which is about 15 miles west of Palm Springs. We can tell you this house is deserted. Obviously, mom and dad, they are now in jail. The 2-year-old child is now in custody of Child Protective Services. And we understand that Jake's elderly mother is now staying somewhere else. I've been poking around this neighborhood, talking with people who live around here. They don't know this family. And the one woman said, you know, she's only seen the mom one time in 4 years. But on this side, Brian, I want to show you the memorial that is just growing and growing. It's about 20 yards wide.
I don't know why, but they struck me as a family that was living in a camper or something. I don't know why I thought they were living in a camper. Probably because they were at that sporting goods store in the parking lot.
You and I, we've covered a lot of tragedy, and this memorial, it is significant. So many signs, you know, asking for justice for baby Emmanuel. Where is baby Emmanuel? This is obviously...
Where is baby Emmanuel? Because there's reports that he wasn't even seen up to a month before his reported disappearance. So that is a good question. Where is baby Emmanuel? And are we ever going to find him? What do you think? Do you think we're going to find him?
Case which has touched so many throughout the region. So many people had believed that initial story of the baby being kidnapped. Just a horrible story. The mom with the black eye claiming that, you know, she was changing the baby's diaper, and when she came to, the baby was gone. And of course, now the sheriff's department saying this is a case of murder. However, there is no body despite an extensive search for remains, Brian.
And there were also no tears, Nancy. You remember when she would go out, the mom, and give those press conferences, and she would be crying.
Very Susan Smith-like. That was the first video that I did. I was like, this feels like Susan Smith all over again. I'm not seeing the tears, and it's like, your mama loves you, but no tears.
But I always look closely in those situations. I always look right at the screen, and there were no tears, which had a lot of people feeling very suspicious from the beginning. And it is so sad.
I don't think you could hold me up if my baby was kidnapped. I mean, I would probably force myself to stand up and get out there to try to get my baby back. But, oh, I can't even imagine. But we all have a plan. Like, it's one of my favorite quotes. We all have a plan until we're punched in the face. So I don't know, but it's obvious that these people were lying.
You're going to say though, Nancy?
Yeah, I was going to point out that there is an interview with the father with a media station in which he talked about baby Emmanuel in the past tense. So there are people who are also making note of that.
Yeah, and again, the father who was once charged with child abuse, and the other child is now nearly brain dead. The whole thing is awful. And I was just thinking, I mean, all those signs behind you, the little stuffed animals, the strollers, really drives home that this is just a baby boy.
Heartbreaking.
Do we know anything more, Nancy? Because I was so perplexed. They brought him out there in the jumpsuit on the side of the freeway where he spent hours like showing detectives around, but then they found nothing. Do we know what he said to police to prompt that?
The sheriff's department is revealing nothing about that search other than it happened and that it's now concluded. But take a look at the video. Take a closer look at how he is acting, because I don't see him pointing or really talking in an animated way. I mean, is he truly helping detectives to find baby? I mean, he's not walking, he's just standing there. He's not pointing at anything. So how helpful was he? Was this just, an outing for him to get out from behind bars for a while? But it remains to be seen, was this a futile excursion for him outside the jail? They're both of the parents, they're being held here in Riverside County. He's going to be in court in Riverside County, we suspect, tomorrow morning. But this video, I mean, what stood out to me, Brian, is that he's not really, is he truly helping in finding anything? Because
I was watching another news report, and we're going to watch it in just a minute, but he was pointing out there's no van out there. Like, if they were to find the body, there's no recovery van out there. It's just all police officers and a horse trailer. So to me, it just does seem like he's just doing a little jaunty outing to, get out of the cell. So, okay, what county did they say? Oh, I missed it too. Okay, so I am over here at the Superior Court of California, but this is County of Orange. Let me see. As usual, I've got too many things open. I think they say it right here.
Get out from behind bars for a while. But it remains to be seen, was this a futile excursion for him outside the jail? They're both of the parents, they're being held here in Riverside County. He's going to be
Riverside County. Let's see. I don't know. Let me see if I type Riverside. All right. Oops, I think I saw it right there. Superior Court of Riverside. Remote appearances? Okay, well, what we'll do is we'll continue on, and while we're watching these things, I'll look at it in the background because I'm not seeing it. So I'm at the County of Riverside, Superior Court of California. Court check-in, court live stream. Oops. Good enough, maybe. Effective November 8th, 2021, live streaming will be within judicial discretion if a courtroom is otherwise physically open to the public. Therefore, not all public hearings. Let's see, I agree. Oh, geez. Do we know what courthouse? Oh, Riverside. Do we know which Riverside it is? Okay, Riverside Historic, Riverside Hall of Justice, Riverside Family. I feel like it would be in the historic. It feels like it would just happen in historic for some reason. I'm thinking I'm in the wrong place.
Motion to compel to deem admission.
But they do
submitted,
have
as
their
well as
hearings
compel
going.
Responses to request for production of
Oh,
documents
no
and
electric recordings.
interrogatories.
Here, we're gonna get out of that. It doesn't look like there's anything but that going on in the historic one. Let's maybe family. Would it be in family? Nothing in family. Okay, there's historic. What about Hall of Justice? Nothing in there. So I don't see anything going on, but it's still early and it's like their 3-hour time difference. It's noon here. So, I mean, it's still morning there. So it could happen anytime. What we're looking for currently is I'm looking in to see if there is any court going on. And I'm not seeing anything. I'll show you what I was looking at. I thought you were seeing it. So I'm in their live streaming, their courtroom live streaming. And there is one going on right here. Now that I know where I'm at, I mean, I don't think it would be in juvenile. Now that I know where it is, I can keep an eye on it for you guys today. We also have a live stream coming up tonight on the Kurt Cobain case. But there's only one going on and it doesn't look like it's them. It's some other people, random people. So I will keep an eye. They're supposed to come in today for their arraignment. Is being reported that they're supposed to be there this morning, but we're not seeing anything quite yet. So, okay, so let's keep going. So here we have the crying dad turned murder suspect leads cops on the search for the missing baby.
Updates in the search for Emmanuel Haro. This is a picture per KABC TV of the missing 7-month-old's dad in an orange jumpsuit with detectives searching for his son, Jake Haro.
Kim, just out of curiosity, can you tell which courtroom that guy is in? Is he in the family, the historic, not the annex, but do you see which one he's in?
And the boy's mom, Rebecca, were arrested on Friday. Both are now accused of murder in the death of their son, Emmanuel Haro, but his body has still not been found. And another twist that we're following, even though we saw Jake Haro, the dad, out with detectives, his wife, the boy's mom, is still reportedly sticking to her story that the child was kidnapped in an interview she just did from jail. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Put online on Friday, showing both of them being walked out of their home. This was in the morning. It appears they were still in PJs and boxers as they were being led to cruisers to be taken into custody. All of this taking place outside Los Angeles. Now, it's unclear what the evidence really is that detectives have that push them to make an arrest and to believe that Emmanuel...
I'd like to know what's happened to the baby, because the baby at sometimes looks like he's normal, but then normal development. And then there's other times where he looks like he's got something genetically wrong with him.
Was murdered. Now, there was hope overnight that Emmanuel's body would be found. Here is an image from KABC TV of Jake Haro standing with detectives in an area off a highway.
There was more than just hope. There was false reports that he was found. That broke out overnight, but it wasn't true.
About 22 miles from his house. This happened last night. Now, deputies said as Jake was there, they searched the area with cadaver dogs, but they did not find Emmanuel's remains. Now, as for Jake's wife, Rebecca, you probably saw her initial interview on KABC, her alleged cry for help, saying that her son had been abducted and she was attacked. Here's her story.
Got him out of the car seat and I laid him down and so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said, "Hola," and that's all I remember.
Now that is an alleged lie, according. She just gave an interview. It was posted actually around the same time that Jake was out with detectives. And before I get into what she is now saying, let me remind you how she and her husband went public with their alleged crocodile tears more than a week ago. Let's play that soundbite by Rebecca.
Nobody's even pointing out that she blamed a Hispanic person. She's like, somebody came up to me and said hola instead of like, so she's like pointing to a Hispanic person. And I don't need to remind you the temperature of the country right now, deporting people. Now, isn't that interesting?
Again.
Got him out of the car seat and I laid him down and so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said, "Hola," and that's all I remember.
So there's Rebecca, like hyperventilating on KABC. That was on August 14th. I will note, the television station says they didn't see any tears in her eyes as she gave that emotional soundbite. She claims that she and Emmanuel went to a sporting goods store in Yucaipa, California, Thursday night after they were at a football game for the Haro's other son. Before going into the store, Rebecca claimed that Emmanuel needed a diaper change, so she went to change him, and that's when she heard someone say, "Hola." The next thing she knows, she says she was on the ground and Emmanuel was gone. Now, she had the black eye to prove it, right? That she was attacked. Well, that story seems to really be falling apart. We've been told that that bruise looks like it had been healing for a good amount of time.
That was one of the first things people noted was she's had that for a while.
And it's come to light that she actually reportedly had that black eye nearly 2 weeks.
She's got two black eyes, really. She's got one here and then she's got that big one there. And that's a very healed one.
Before her call to law enforcement and her story of this alleged abduction. Here's what Jake Haro said to cameras from KABC as well.
Whoever took our son, please give him back.
Okay, before we get back to this episode of
So you guys, today we're coming to you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. If we could just start that algorithm dance party that I like to do, just start warming up your fingers and dancing them right up to the hearts and thumbs up button. Helps us go out into the algorithm, party out there, bring more people back. It's just a free way to help me out. And also, if you engage in our content, if you just leave me a little thumbs up or a comment, it just shows YouTube that you're interested. These are all free ways and they're really, really appreciated. I've decided that we're going to be doing this coffee talk in the mornings. We're going to call it the Power Docket. Running around this morning, getting ready for all of this, I was noticing that I feel like fall is in the air, and a huge thank you to Wild for supporting the Power Network, because the changing seasons can play havoc with our bodies. Cold, hot, layers on, layers off. You know the drill. When it starts getting warmer, it makes sweating more unpredictable. That's where Wild comes in. Their natural deodorants are refillable, eco-friendly, and it works. And for my Power crew, you get 20% off the first order. Just use code PARAWOMEN at shopwildrefill.com/PARAWOMEN. Smell fresh, stay sustainable, and support the channel all at the same time. And it's really appreciated if you decide to give it a try. I use it and I enjoy it. Thank you, Wild, for being a supporter. I will put the links in the show notes for everything that we watched today, which includes our Wild refillable deodorant links. Getting back to this case, what made you first interested in this case? Like, what news story made you go, huh, with this case? It was the mother crying on this by the shopping center for me. I was like, nah, this just isn't boding well with me. And the more I see her, the more, I don't know, but I still think she's an abused woman.
That story was first told, they say they found inconsistencies in what Rebecca was saying, and they confronted her about it. And that is when they say she stopped cooperating with the investigation. In the days after that, law enforcement served multiple search warrants at the Haro's home in a rural part of Southern California. You're looking at drone video here by missing persons private investigator Steve Fisher, who has come on this show multiple times with us as he has been following this case from Southern California. You can see members of law enforcement in this drone video taking bags of evidence from around the property. Now, this couple in TV interviews, they appeared to be a unified front, sitting next to each other, calling for more to be done in hoping that their son could be found. But then last night, a very interesting development, because on the same day that you had Jake out searching with law enforcement, or at least standing there as they searched, again, they didn't find Emmanuel's body as they were searching in an area with Jake Haro. Rebecca yesterday did an interview with a reporter from the Southern California news group. And she, according to this interview, is not giving up her story. She said, quote, "I will not give up. I will not give up on my baby." She maintained that she is telling the truth, that she was assaulted and Emmanuel was kidnapped. The reporter did note that the black eye, it's still noticeable, but it has significantly faded under Rebecca's face. She also, it doesn't appear to have any other wounds. If she was to fall on the ground after getting punched, it seems that that small little black eye was the only injury that she had after this alleged assault. Now, it's unclear if Rebecca has had any communication with her husband since her arrest. It's also unclear if she has a lawyer or any sort of representation. She is due in court tomorrow, as well as Jake. We do know that Jake.
And we are keeping an eye on it. I have the website open for the court, and I am watching other YouTube channels. Like I see Iqmel is on, but he's not watching it. And I see the Pascal show is live. And yeah, it's just not going quite yet, but I am keeping an eye on it for us.
Has an attorney. His lawyer's name is Vincent Hughes. He went on News Nation and said his client is innocent, asked why more wasn't being done by law enforcement to search for a boy that his client said was kidnapped and missing. He said his client was cooperating with law enforcement. Here's more of what he said.
Why have Rebecca and Jake stopped cooperating with the police if they're desperate to find the baby and the police are looking for the baby?
I don't know where the statement that they stopped cooperating came from, Ashley. I spoke to the detectives yesterday, offered for Jake to continue to speak with them, have not been made aware of any requests today to speak with Jake. I don't represent Rebecca. That needs to be very clear, but I have not been asked.
I mean, it does look like he's speaking with them if he's out looking somewhere. So, I mean, it does look like Jake is cooperating in some way.
Produce Jake. I offered to produce.
Which makes it seem like they're guilty, because if Jake's cooperating, it seems like that's guilt. But again, everybody's innocent until proven guilty here.
Jake. They voluntarily turned over all of their electronic devices, including the passwords. I think that's something that's huge that nobody has been made aware of.
Now, that interview was prior to Jake's arrest. When his client was arrested, we reached out to Hughes' office. We spoke to an assistant who said that he would get back to us, and we have not heard back at the time of this recording. There are several major questions that remain unanswered right now in this story. The biggest ones, of course, where's Emmanuel? What happened to Emmanuel? But it's also unclear the last time anyone saw this boy. True crime blogger Annie Elise told News Nation that it's been at least a month, according to people who she has spoken with. It's also been reported that people didn't see Emmanuel at that football game that his mom claims they were at before she says she was assaulted. It's also been reported that the Haros were in the parking lot of that sporting goods store in Yucaipa weeks ahead of the night that Rebecca says she was attacked. And the couple allegedly asked employees of that sporting goods store where their security cameras were, because at the time they were claiming their car had been broken into. Then you just have to wonder what Jake told detectives.
Oh, that's not sus at all that they were there a week before scoping out the place, asking about security cameras. My gosh. Kim says, I caught a Vinnie Politan live. As soon as I saw she was making herself hyperventilate, I was suspicious. Yeah, as soon as she pulled the Susan Smith.
Yesterday, to bring him to that field, was he just toying with them? Or does he truly know where Emmanuel's body is? And is he completely splitting from his wife's story that she was attacked? Now, while we're here talking about Jake, it's also important to talk about his history. In 2018, he was arrested for willful child cruelty. He was convicted of that in 2023, and he's currently on probation, and that has raised a lot of questions.
willful child cruelty. That's not sus either. Jeez.
For prosecutors and how he was able to get that deal, the Daily Breeze media outlet has an affidavit from that case. It says that Haro's 10-week-old daughter was sent to the hospital with fractured ribs, just 10 weeks old. True crime blogger Abby Blabby spoke to the adoptive mom of that little girl who's now 7 years old. And the woman says the girl's blind. She can't speak, all because of what Jake Haro allegedly.
I saw those news reports today, and that little girl is on a ventilator and she's just never going to be the same. Why is that man walking free?
Did. Haro also was expected in court next month for allegedly violating his probation on that case for having a firearm. Now he is charged with murder, just like his wife, and both are due in court tomorrow on those charges in Riverside County, California.
Well, you better believe he's out there trying to save his ass if he has all of that going on. I mean, you better believe it. So there was horrific new evidence. There was blood found. I wanted to take a quick peek at that. The blood evidence that was found in this case.
His parents were arrested, and police have now released new videos and new details. His parents, Rebecca and Jake Haro, who first reported him missing on August 14th, are now behind bars, charged with murder. Even though Emmanuel's body has not yet been recovered, the charges show us investigators no longer believe he is alive.
Okay, let's move forward. We do put the links for everything that we view in the show notes if you want to watch it in its entirety. I want to find the blood evidence part.
Across the street, those cameras, investigators say, could end up being critical to the case. In another disturbing revelation, we've learned that just days before the reported abduction, Rebecca and Jake Haro were seen at the Do It Best Home Center in Beaumont, California. And according to these reports, they attempted to purchase a tool known as a sawzall.
Oh.
The store didn't have one in stock, so no purchase was made.
Gosh.
Now, we can't say for certain why they wanted the saw. Maybe
that's not sus at all, is it, you guys? And they were trying to purchase one of those type of saws. Oh, geez. This is such a hard case. Oh.
It was for a project. When you place that attempted purchase against the backdrop of murder charges, your mind goes in unsettling directions. The possibility that it could have been intended for something far darker is horrifying to even consider. And sadly, there is precedent for violence in this family. Jake Haro has been accused in the past of severely abusing another one of his children, a baby, leaving her permanently disabled, unable to see, speak, or walk. Meanwhile, Rebecca reportedly has no relationship with her two oldest daughters. Taken together, it raises questions about their capacity for parental care or lack thereof. What makes this all the more chilling is how both Rebecca and Jake
It reminds me of the Summer Wells case where, you know, Summer goes missing and then all of a sudden you realize these parents aren't caring for their children at all. And it's alarming. And you realize that so many kids are falling through the system in the cracks.
Themselves publicly. They stood on television side by side begging for help to find their son. But if prosecutors are right, that entire story was a fabrication. They cried, pleaded, and portrayed themselves as desperate parents, all while allegedly knowing what really happened to Emmanuel. Anyone who can carry out such an act.
Yeah, just hearing about the dad and what the dad did to his other child alone. Yeah, why would they let him around other babies? That makes no sense to me.
And then so convincingly lie to the public leaves open the terrifying question, what else might they have been capable of? So what happens now that Rebecca and Jake Haro are behind bars? Many experts believe investigators will work to turn the couple against each other. We know from Jake's past that he's no stranger to shifting blame onto his partner, a pattern that could easily resurface in this case. But given his history of violence, it's very possible he was the one who harmed baby Emmanuel. And according to Elizabeth Vargas, I
90% believe that it was him that did it. I mean, there's like a 10% that she did it, but I mean, I really believe he did it. I mean, come on. If you believe that he didn't do it, I've got some land, some oceanfront property in the middle of the United States that I want to sell you.
Panel for the Elizabeth Vargas report. She claims Jake is responsible for the alleged murder.
Sources tell News Nation that police believe the father killed the baby, and they say it happened inside the home.
If that proves true, the big question becomes whether Rebecca, now separated from Jake behind bars and facing serious charges herself, will finally break her silence and tell investigators what really happened. The next steps in this investigation may hinge on whether...
I think she's still in that domestic violence cloud. I think once she sits there for a little bit, or maybe even today, who knows? We'll see what happens. I don't know. Are you talking about why wasn't he charged with the other person's, the other child's attempted murder? I don't know. I guess we'll have to look into those charges because, I mean, wow.
One of them decides to talk. In the meantime, the search for baby Emmanuel's body continues. Authorities are following up on multiple leads, including a dam in Paris, California, and a landfill in Beaumont. One of the reporters who has been on the front lines.
They're looking at a dam and a landfill. It's very interesting because I've been to some of these places in California. I used to vacation out in California. Well, I mean, I only did it like 2 years in a row, but I used to we would fly into Las Vegas and then we would drive across the desert into California. We went up to Big Bear, stayed in a timeshare there. And then we also were in Hollywood. So anyway, I've been around some of these places. We were in San Bernardino visiting family members.
This case from the very beginning, Ahmed Beozo has even been tracking
very sparse and things are far apart from one another. So, I mean, it seems to me like there would be a lot of places to hide a little body.
Down tips himself. In fact, right after he filmed one particular lead, sheriff's deputies arrived at the same location to investigate. Take a look.
Ahmed Beozo, we have made it to Yucaipa, California, a new lead where Rebecca and Jake Haro were seen here at the Sanctuary Church in Yucaipa, California. And it was midnight. My constituent and source was driving with his family. He said he observed Rebecca and Jake Haro driving up and down 5th Street in Yucaipa on the 12th at midnight, okay? You see Rebecca pushing a black stroller here to the back of the property. You can see just how vast this property is here on the Tira. Rebecca was seen pushing a black stroller through the property here, and you can see there's rocks there. There's a whole layout on the Tira. There's containers over there, homie. There's a tree line here as well. And then you can see this property is very, very vast on the Tira. And so the question remains, what was Rebecca and Jake Haro doing here at midnight with a black stroller on this property?
Indeed.
And so if we get closer, you can see police should really take a look at this portion of the Tira, homie. Wow.
This guy's been on the case. I've noticed he's been all over. Somebody said today that he might have some cancer. So if he does, we're sending him strength and healing because, wow, he's really been on top of this case.
Wow. There is a hole in the fence here. There is a sewer drainage here. I mean, it's just a vast, there's a box. Oh, thank goodness. It's literally enough for you fine folks to get a cadaver team out here in Yucaipa, homie. I really hope this information helps here on 5th Street and Yucaipa Boulevard at the Sanctuary Church, homie. There is a drain here. You can see that there is, in fact, a drain here on the Tira. Now you see here on this portion of the drain, there is fresh dirt here. There's another small pile here. Doesn't look like it would be anything, no. If police wanted to come out here and look, this would be a very, very good place to start. Sheriff deputies have now entered the chat. Ahmed Beozo, you can see them here. They are going, baby, bring the flashlight. You guys come over here. You can see here now, San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies have now entered the chat here. We don't know if it could be possibly an animal or we don't know.
I love that they're following him and now they're there.
So thank goodness that the sheriff's deputies have now entered the chat here to try to figure out if we can, in fact, get some answers on the Tira. How you doing? I'm gonna follow the deputy here. Do you mind if I walk with you, deputy or sergeant? Okay, so. Okay, that's fine. It's right. It should be right there by the 5th post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be a small hole in the ground. There should be a little makeshift cross. More to the right. There's a hole there.
According to Ahmed, detectives are also looking into the grandmother, who may know more than she has shared publicly. She was seen on camera speaking with reporters and appearing emotional, but now investigators suspect she could have key information about what really happened to baby Emmanuel. Ahmed's dedication to this case really has been remarkable.
It really has been. He's over on TikTok, you guys. We're going to watch him a little bit more in a minute.
He's out in the community daily, gathering footage, speaking with witnesses, and pushing out updates that have helped investigators generate new leads. Many locals who might hesitate to approach law enforcement feel comfortable coming to him with tips. And that's been instrumental in keeping information flowing. And what makes his work even more extraordinary is what he's facing personally. Ahmed is battling cancer and just days ago underwent a bone marrow biopsy. Despite that, he continues to put himself out there, often in extreme heat, even fainting.
Can you imagine this man is going through cancer and he loves this baby who he doesn't even know enough to be out there reporting on it so that we can find little baby Emmanuel. That's like freaking amazing. And that's dedication to justice. You know, those of us that are in true crime, that follow it and that report on it, I've noticed that we all have a huge sense. The thing that we can all come together on is our sense of justice and right and wrong. It's amazing.
From exhaustion at the Haro home during their arrest.
Yeah, he collapsed.
Yeah, he fell hard.
So I want us all to send some love and healing to this man. He needs it. And he is doing something pretty amazing. So I thought it'd also be fun to go on. This is one of my favorite lawyers to watch, CLR Bruce Rivers. And he is reporting on it. And I don't want to hear what he has to say. You know, I'm a Gen Xer and I like comedy, and I have, the way that I let off steam is to laugh. I mean, and a lot of Gen Xers, that's our trauma coping mechanism, because I would rather be laughing than crying. So, and this is a very hard case to watch. So let's see what he says.
Criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
I'm sorry, I had to listen to his opening because I love all the self-snitching. Just like Brian Koberger writing his snitch reports.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Today, we're doing a quick reaction or update on the Haro family and all their little woes, their legal woes, and their missing 7-month-old boy. Yeah, 7-month-old boy. Before we get to this, this is brought to you by AskALawyer.com. AskALawyer.com is a very effective way to get some legal advice from a very experienced and real living, breathing lawyer. I know we have hearts, we have lungs, we have just like everybody else.
I'll put the link to all of this. So if you're interested in any of that, Ask a Lawyer, it'll be down over in the links for you guys.
Haro family.
New developments in the search for missing 7-month-old baby Emmanuel in San Bernardino County.
Wait a second. They look like they're in custody. I love these paramilitary. Actually, it doesn't even look paramilitary. It looks military. These armored cars and all this shit.
The boy is presumed dead, and his parents have been arrested on suspicion of murder.
The arrests come just over 1 week after the boy's mother said he was abducted outside a store in Yucaipa. KTLA's Chris Wolf is live in Cabazon with the latest details. Chris?
Yeah, Sharon, Micah, a candlelight vigil for baby Emmanuel is happening right now, just a few yards from us here in Cabazon. Let's take a look at some video we just shot. People are gathering outside the home he shared with his parents, who are in custody on suspicion of murdering the 7-month-old. The San Bernardino.
Free the Haros, free the Haros, free the Haros. Oh, wait, maybe not. Now, if you remember,
isn't it strange how are they going to free the Haros? When we were watching that Gypsy Rose case, the new teen, that I feel like she may have influence. how can you lock away a 17-year-old and not give her bond, but we can do this we can free the Harrows? That makes no sense to me at all. Does that make any sense to you?
During their plea to have the killer or the abductor release the child and return the child to their rightful home. Remember, she had a bruise on her face, and she said that was caused by an attacker who approached her from behind, which makes no sense. It's been speculated that that likely could have been caused by the husband when he was beating the child. And remember, the husband in this case has a prior major assault on a baby, with skull fractures and, brain injury and never going to walk, that kind of thing.
San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department says, based on the evidence, investigators determined a kidnapping in Yucaipa did not occur. It is
now, if you remember, she said at the above five, or was it five above store that she was attacked in the parking lot. One of the things these big box stores have better than anybody else is surveillance. You can see the
But we just learned that they were out surveilling the surveillance situation, and apparently they didn't have them
on the particular day in question, at the particular time in question. And it's usually high res. So you're going to see exactly what happened when. And if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. And they had two people that were employees that we talked about last time that said that she didn't even come in with a child.
Believed Emmanuel is deceased, and the search to recover his remains is ongoing. This case spans 2 counties, and the murder suspects were booked into a Riverside County jail without bail.
You're not going to get bail on a first-degree homicide like this. So right now they're being held on murder with malice. This just happened yesterday.
Caught on camera. Friday morning, detectives from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department arrested Jake and Rebecca Haro at their home in Cabazon on suspicion of murder.
The one thing that they're going to do is monitor the jail conversations. Invariably, anybody that doesn't have any experience with the jail system will talk on the telephone. And they'll talk on the telephone because they just can't help themselves. They're just so overwrought with whatever. And they'll usually spill some kind of facts that help the prosecution.
Investigators say they will continue their search for 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. Deputies and police dogs have continually searched the family home. The Sheriff's Department says it served multiple search warrants at the property and is now reviewing surveillance footage from areas of interest in the case.
So one of the things that we have in this day and age is video cameras everywhere, right? And we have digital footprints. So we know where everybody...
We do have these cameras everywhere. So why aren't we seeing more on the cameras?
Was when. So you take their cell phone records from the cell towers, and you can pinpoint where they were, what's their route on any particular day. And guess what? So then you go to these locations. Is there a surveillance camera on the back of this store where there's a dumpster? Is there a traffic cam on this particular intersection? And they're able to kind of retrace. That's one of the things they did in the Kroberger case. And so they'll retrace their steps. And they may find evidence along the way. That happened in a case that I was consulted on not that long ago. The client shot his girlfriend in the face.
Perhaps learning today, whatever we're going to learn in court, we'll know if they do have more evidence. Because if they have some evidence, they're not going to be released.
And the cops just traced his steps, and they found surveillance, and they found evidence of where he dumped evidence. This is years ago.
What? In a sane world, they wouldn't be released. But then a voice in the back of my head said, but Amy, why was he out free after doing what he did to his daughter? I don't know.
Where they found evidence, or they dumped shoes or whatever they were looking for. So he's thinking he's getting rid of this evidence. Well, they collected it, and they got video of him getting rid of it. Well, if you're getting rid of something, what does that tell you? Consciousness of guilt.
I didn't see anything. And I woke up on the floor.
In an interview with KTLA 1 week earlier, Rebecca Haro, who had a black eye.
So look at that. What do you think of that? I mean, she definitely has a black eye there, right? And so if there was no attacker, like she's describing in the parking lot, then it had to be him, don't you think? And if it was him, what do you think is going to happen? If she didn't do this, don't you think she's going to flip on him here shortly?
Oh, yeah. If she just has to come out of that cloud. And I think she's going to wake up pretty quickly sitting in jail. Unless she gets out today, then she might still remain silent. I don't know. I am keeping an eye on what's
the next logical step.
I am keeping an eye on what's going on. I see that there are ICMIL is no longer live. And there is Down the Rabbit Hole she's live, but nothing's going on. Over in the court, there's actually no courtrooms active, so it's not happening yet. But I am keeping an eye on today's hearing. Reportedly, the parents are supposed to be in court this morning, but it hasn't happened yet.
Next to her husband, Jake, pleaded for the return of their son.
Please come and bring my son back. Please, I'm begging you.
The Haros say a stranger jumped Rebecca last Thursday in the parking lot of a sporting goods store in Yucaipa as she was changing the baby's diaper in her car. She says the attacker knocked her unconscious, and when she awoke, Emmanuel was gone. San Bernardino County detectives, however, say her story was filled with inconsistencies, and when they pressed her, she stopped talking.
Everybody thinks they're smarter than the cops. And it's not that the cops are all that bright. All you have to do is ask a few questions. And then ask
like only the stupid people think they're smarter than the cops. Most of the smart people that know they're not smarter than the cops ask for a lawyer.
again, and then ask it again. And you give different answers or, press on a detail. Well, what about this? Doesn't make sense. Let me talk to you about this. And you heard the interviews in our last video. The cops were actually pretty decent.
Authorities confirmed this week that social workers have removed a 2-year-old child from the Haro household. Back to the scene outside the home Friday morning.
Innocent until proven guilty. We'll figure it out when this case starts moving forward.
An attorney.
That's their lawyer in front of the cameras. I wouldn't be in front of the
There
cameras.
was another,
there
was another child in the house. He had another child in the house. So he's harmed one child to the point where the child's harmed for life. Now he's unalived. I mean, everyone's presumed innocent, but I believe he's unalived this child. And this is all my opinions. This is alleged for entertainment and educational purposes only. And there's another child in the house that he can get to. What the actual F?
You're hanging your neck out there.
An attorney for Jake Haro was seen walking outside the house.
My first job as a social worker, I have a BA in sociology, psychology, and my first job out of the gate was as a foster care social worker. And it was the hardest job that I've ever had. And I worked in a domestic shelter in Detroit and a gun was pulled on me. And that wasn't even as hard as the foster care job. I feel like that scarred me for life because I know what people do to babies and children, and it's not good. It's not. And the system is overwrought. It's just overwrought. And this was in the 90s, you guys. So I imagine it's 10 times worse now.
During all of the law enforcement commotion and activity. He did not answer reporter questions, but did make those comments. Back here live outside the family home, a candlelight vigil for baby Emmanuel is happening right now. Father Jake Haro has a
really looks like a nice place, doesn't it? You can tell he's probably an investment banker or he's, and he probably has a private jet too. Just because you don't have money doesn't mean you have to be a shitbag. Honestly, you can have a clean house if you don't have money.
Criminal history. He pleaded guilty to child cruelty involving a little girl 2 years ago. He was sentenced to jail and also given probation, but investigators.
Had he been in prison, he wouldn't have spawned the devil's offspring and he wouldn't have had the opportunity to.
Well, had he been in prison, he wouldn't have been able to do what he's been doing to his children. I mean, that's horrible.
Victimize another child.
Say he later violated.
So if you're the judge that put this guy back on the street, fucking shame on you.
Violated that probation by possessing a firearm.
Let's stop that and do this. Shame on that judge. Shame on him.
And ammunition. He was scheduled for a court appearance in that case in September.
Which he will not make because he'll be in custody on another case.
He'll be in court today on this case and hopefully he won't be released.
And then he won't drive.
I'm going to be outraged if they release that man. I'm already outraged. I'm going to go on an outrage spree if that man gets released today.
This breaking and developing story.
So the other thing, my understanding is that they found a significant amount of blood in the home. So they did a search warrant and they got a bunch of evidence from the home. And if they've got blood from this child and they can't find the child, you don't need a body to prove a murder. You can do it by circumstances. But where is the baby? If you can, you can show that what she's saying just didn't happen, and then you have all this blood that's at the home and you can't find the baby, then the only logical inference is that they did this. And it can be one or both. So here's another big tell. When you have an arson case, when you remove valuables, oh yeah, grandma's sewing machine that's a precious heirloom, somehow that was in the garage when the house burned down. Or all the pictures of the family were somehow at my sister's house. Oh gee, how did that happen? Did you know about it? Well, in this case, there were no baby clothes in the house. Big surprise. And then the baby pictures were all removed. What does that tell you? I mean, that tells you
She had gotten rid of all the baby stuff in the pictures. It just wasn't in the house anymore before he disappeared. Kind of like when Martha Stewart got in trouble, like she sold all her stocks. That wasn't inside trading, was it? It's like when you know ahead of time, the police know that you knew. Sure sign. Okay, let's keep going. This is a new channel. Thanks, Kim, for showing me this Emmanuel's channel. I thought this was interesting. This is a trigger warning. He is questioning, could this be a postmortem photo of the baby? Is that why the baby looks so strange in this photo? Because do you remember when I said, I think it's strange how the baby looks one way in some and another way in others? I thought for sure he had a problem, like a neurological or, a birth defect of some sort, but it's reporting that he just had a lazy eye.
There's two things that stand out to me. They're saying that there was blood, tons of blood found in the carpet, right? I don't believe that he just went on a...
Could there be tons of blood found in the carpet because there was tons of abuse in the house? Was there tons of abuse happening? That could have been also
a stabbing spree of his 7-month-old baby boy. I don't think that that's how this baby was ended. That's not his MO. His MO is physical abuse, choking, beating, hurting, breaking arms.
So this is the daughter that he harmed right there. Could it be the blood in the carpet is from the constant, being abused, like being smacked in the head, or, you do when your nose, bleeding all over the carpet or whatever? Is that possible? The native's getting restless in the shower. I usually get away with these morning things because I put him in the shower. He's starting to get restless. So we're going to have a little bird joining us in a moment.
Throwing. That's his MO. That's what put him in the spotlight of law enforcement previously to this. That's what got him his first felony conviction. I think that there might be some truth in the rumors that they were trying to buy power tools, saws and sawzalls, whatever. I think that the blood that was found in the carpet is not from what unalived the boy. I think it's from them cutting up the body into small pieces, which is not hard.
Okay. Well, that's even worse because yes, that makes sense. We did just watch where they were trying to buy that huge power saw. They weren't able to buy it because they didn't have it, but I'm sure they could have went to another store and bought it.
Infant. And I'm sorry, this is going to be a trigger warning for some of you guys, but listen, this is True Crime with Strategic, and you're talking to a detective here, or rather detective.
That's another thing. This guy is an actual detective.
Talking to you. We're going to talk like we're in a squad. That's what you call where detectives work. They're called squads. We're going to talk like we're in a squad. And we're going to have a big boy, big girl conversation. So if it triggers you, there's no judgment. I'm not in any way trying to shame you. Maybe you might need to take a step back from the show. Come back a little bit later. But we're going to talk like we're fielding this case together, like I do with my colleagues. We're going to come together. We're going to talk about this case so we make sure we're covering all the angles, because everybody's going to look at it from a different angle. And when we come together, like we become Voltron for all the 80s babies out there.
Yes.
I feel like
I really appreciate that, Ken, because I like to talk to law enforcement and yeah, just to bring, I actually am going to start reaching out to people and inviting them on the channel so we can have some good conversations. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one.
blood that they found in the carpet was not from the incident.
Not to
of
say that he's agreeing to come on, but I'm just going to start trying to get some more guests because I do like to talk to the police officers, the ex-prisoners, stuff like that. And I know you guys enjoy it too. It's just that I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have huge anxiety issues. So I have to work myself up to invite guests on because it's not only just like inviting them on, like working up the courage to inviting them on, but the day of the interview, I'm really nervous and it's just like working through my nerves and stuff. But I used to act and direct. And so I just have to remember that I like this kind of feeling that, you know, it fuels me. And so that's what I just have to remember. Like tonight we have guests on, we're going to be talking about the Kurt Cobain case and the ballistics in the case. And we have Kurt Cobain official coming on and joining us, the women of that channel. So yeah, I'm going to start going out of my comfort zone because I know you guys enjoy it. And ultimately I enjoy it too.
That caused the unaliving of the baby, but rather the cleanup, the get rid of upper. I made that word up.
Hi.
The destruction of the evidence and the getting rid of the body. That's what I'm thinking. I do believe that they cut baby Haro into pieces. And being that they're in the desert, there is a possibility law enforcement will never find his remains because there are all types of predators that exist out there that would get rid of the evidence. That's just my thought. I could be wrong.
If he's right and they did get him into pieces, we're never going to find him. I mean, I just don't think he was not even a year old. He was just a baby. He was just a freaking baby.
But they've conducted multiple search warrants, and from what I'm hearing, on multiple addresses, and they have not found baby Haro. They haven't found Emmanuel. Why? But yet they're finding the remnants.
I don't mind people that don't have filters. I like the church lady, and I like right down to the people that don't have filters. I like all. I am a person that likes to go from group to group, and it just depends on what I'm in the mood for. If I'm feeling extra sensitive, I don't watch these kind of people. I watch the more, tame people. But I like the variety. Hey, cutie, can you just give mommy like 5 more minutes? Yeah, we're coming into the home stretch, baby. Yeah. Can you just give mommy some minutes? Yeah. Okay.
Of what they would typically find when somebody's trying to do a body disposal. Let's keep going.
Within days of the kidnapping story, investigators publicly announced there were inconsistencies in Rebecca's statements.
It made my heart drop because then it's like, okay, now it's completely off of what was said, what really happened.
And many who watched the couple's initial media interviews say they didn't ring true.
I didn't really believe it. Just from the get-go, mom, you could tell.
How Rebecca said she couldn't turn around to see what the kidnapper looked like, but was somehow punched in her eye. How she sounded like she was hyperventilating on camera.
I got up off the floor and I didn't see my child. Someone took him from me.
But many noticed there were no tears.
Yeah, those were crocodile tears.
The Haros also said their baby was always happy and smiling, but many think the photos they shared in an attempt to find him didn't reflect that.
No, it didn't.
As people
that baby looks so fearful in the previous photo, and then this photo popped up, and I told you guys, man, days ago, baby's not alive. The baby's gone.
I hope he's wrong. I hope that baby was just sleeping. You know how the eyes sometimes the baby's eyes their eyes pop open just a little bit when they're sleeping. It's a little creepy, but happens. Hope that's what it was. But I mean, I really truly believe that this baby is no longer with us. So either way, the baby's gone. So let me do a quick look to see if the parents are in court. I don't think I see anything. No, there's nothing in the court. As you can see, this is the courthouse, and there's when there's an active one, it lights up green, and there's nothing going on yet. But let me just do a quick refresh. I don't see anything, but I will keep my eyes peeled for you guys. Today, like I said, tonight at 9:30 Eastern time, we're going to be talking with Who Killed Kurt official. Kurt Cobain, the ballistics, they skipped in 94. This group has hired their own ballistic investigator to prove that there would be no possible way that he could have used the gun the way that they're saying he did. Okay, this is all I have for today, you guys. I'll see you later today at 9:30. Oh, wait, you know what? I wanted to look at this one really quick before I go.
Intent. It was premeditated, which means the story about being. Y'all look at this. In the Emmanuel Haro case, his mother, Rebecca.
See this. I saw this video.
Y'all look at this.
Of this person. This is Rebecca coming up and harming the little boy. And look how small his little legs are there. That's like disgusting how small his little legs are.
In the Emmanuel Haro case, his mother, Rebecca, was charged with murder with malice. This, of course, comes after she and the father, Jake, were arrested this morning. Now, for those of you who don't know, malice means there was intent. It was premeditated, which means the story about being at the Big Five retail store and changing Emmanuel's diaper in the car and some man coming up behind her saying hola and knocking her out and then taking the baby was completely fabricated. So now I'm like, wonder where she got that black eye. Or if you look close, it looks like she has two black eyes. I think we all have a pretty good idea where she might have gotten them. Now, there's been rumors circulating around social media today that Emmanuel's body was allegedly found in a lake about 30 miles away from the home, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. But I mean, obviously they found enough evidence to arrest and charge Jake and Rebecca.
This was hopefully a day ago, and it's not confirmed. This was when the rumors were circulating. He wasn't found. He has not been found.
Hopefully this time justice is served and they keep both of them locked up for the rest of their lives. Because as we know, back in 2018, Jake almost killed his 10-week-old daughter and pretty much got away with it. He got a slap on the wrist for a sentence. It says here that when she was admitted to the hospital, she had an acute fractured rib, 6 ribs that were healing, a skull fracture, brain hemorrhage, swelling of the neck, and a fractured leg bone that was healing. And of course, as we know now, this little girl has to live the rest of her life with a tracheostomy, a feeding tube. She's blind. She can't walk. She can't talk. She should be out.
Those people allowed this man to do it again. And it's truly, truly disgusting. It's just the sickest thing that I've ever. It just pisses me off. Makes me so angry. I have such a hard time with these cases. This child suffered prolonged abuse. And that makes it 10 times harder to cover these cases when they suffer prolonged abuse. And I believe he suffered prolonged abuse. Little baby Emmanuel. Ugh. What do you guys think? I'm very interested to know what you think. Put your comments down in the comment section and let me know. I just can't even. Okay. So that's all I have for real today. Bye, Kim. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, I don't usually do 9:30 late ones, but they're in California, and so yeah, and they work during the day, so I understand. Um, okay, guys, I'm gonna go, and thank you for watching in the replay. If nobody, oh, and also thank you to Wild Deodorant for sponsoring us today. It really is appreciated. Wild Deodorant is natural, and that's I have tested out other uh sponsors and didn't like what they were offering you guys. I do like this. With a code PARAWOMEN, you get 20% off your first order. And you get like, I got this little deodorant case, a few deodorants in it. It also comes with this soap case, soap dispenser, and they threw in some free lip butters. But yeah, I like it a lot. I'm a big sweater, and it tames it and helps me out. So let me know if you try it out and if you like it or you don't like it. Okay, guys, I'm going to go for real. If nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm still going to tell you guys this. I love you guys so, so much. Thanks for hanging out on the Power AM docket with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Miss my cue, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you.
Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Helps me go out into the algorithm party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out.